Students, today we are reading rhythms using that number system we've been learning. We're going to review the quarter note, paired eighth notes, and the quarter rest as well. We'll kind of mix them up today though, make it a little more challenging. So let's just take a look at this really quickly, okay? We have our time signature here, and you know the time signature, you look at the top number, and that tells us how many beats are in each measure. So we have 4 beats in each measure. Now look what I did. I took away all the boxes from last time. Now it's one long measure. Now the measures in music are separated by bar lines. See the bar line? After the bar line starts a new measure, and on this page it happens to be on the next line. Typically that's not how music is. You don't usually have one measure per line, but that's what we're doing today. So then we have another measure with a bar line, and then it drops down to the next measure with a bar line, and then finally a fourth measure. And if you notice this symbol here, the lines with the 2 dots, yes, it is a repeat sign. You will repeat back to the beginning to do the entire rhythm. Now boys and girls, listen to that the rhythmic background, that pulse. I slowed down the tempo quite a bit for this activity because it's much more challenging when you mix up all of the different rhythms together when you're using the number system, especially when we're beginning. This is only our 3rd lesson on it, so check it out. You may remember the rules about beat 1, you have to say 1, beat 2, you say 2, beat 3, you say 3, and beat 4, you say 4. And at the beginning of the next measure, you start again with 1. On the eighth notes, the first beat is 1, and the upbeat of it is and. 1 and, right? All right. So let's just read, well, you know what? Let's back up a little bit. Let's just read one measure at a time. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read the next measure. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Read the next measure. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and finally the last measure. Here we go. 1 and 2, 3. Did you think 4? You don't say it, but you got to think it because it's there whether we hear it or not. Now let's do all 4 measures in sequence followed by the repeat sign. Do it all over again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Now boys and girls, many of you automatically start tapping out the rhythm because so many of you have been just trained to do that. Well, if you haven't done that, because I haven't asked you yet to, I'd like for you to attempt to tap the rhythm as you say the rhythm. Just use 2 fingers in your palm. That's a really good way that you can keep a quiet rhythm, okay? Now, I'm going to point, so I'm probably not going to tap. You're tapping on your own. Are you ready? And to tap and say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3. Oh man, it's challenging, and it just keeps on moving. It doesn't slow down. That steady tempo just keeps on going with that rhythmic track in the background. Now let's take a look at the next rhythm. I kind of mixed it up. It may be a little more challenging. Let's try reading the entire page. Notice it follows the same protocol with the repeat sign at the end. We're going to jump back to the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Are you tapping the rhythm as you're saying the rhythm? Oh, I hope so. It's good practice. Because then when we transfer over to the instruments or whatever you may be, it's so much easier because your body's already knowing what to do. Let's look at the next one. Same thing, repeat sign at the end. Are you ready? And tap and read. 1, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. 1, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. Let's move on to the next one. Now look, this one sort of has, if you analyze the music, it sort of has somewhat of a pattern. Look at the first 2 beats. First 3 beats. 2 beats. Well, except for the last one's a little different. Still has that repeat sign. Are you ready? And here you go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2. 1. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2. 1. That one was a little less challenging, I guess you could say. A little more successful. Why? Because it had patterns. You could kind of pick up on the pattern, and once you got that pattern, it was easier. That's my opinion. Now, take a look at this next one. I'm warning you now, it's not going to be as easy. It's going to be much more challenging. Look at the music. Look at the rhythm. Look at the notes. Do you see a pattern? Well, at first glance, I certainly don't see a pattern. That's what's going to make it more challenging. It still follows that same protocol. There's a repeat sign there. So you're going to jump back to the beginning just like we have done in the past. Let's try to read it. Here we go. 1, 2, and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That was challenging. I'll show you one reason why it's so challenging. Look at the first measure. Look at where the rest is. It's on beat 3. Look at the second measure. The rest starts on beat 1. Look at the third measure. The rest is on beat 2. And look at the fourth measure. The rest is on beat 4. Well, that makes it challenging right there. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's try this pattern again. Are you ready? And here we go. 1, 2, and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Maybe some of you were more successful. You know, practice, well, I don't know if practice makes perfect, but it sure makes you more successful. Hey, if you need to go back and review the entire lesson to get some good practice, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.